This is Jonathan Agger, Fifth Pro Boxing Fans, joined by Eddie Hearn at the Benn Van Heerden press conference. As I turn the light off, let me put that back on. How are you, Eddie?
I'm good, mate. Yeah, all very good. Looking forward to Saturday. I enjoyed last weekend of boxing, of course, with Golovkin and Ryan Garcia. But looking forward to Conor, Benn, and of course, moving on forward to Taylor Serrano at Madison Square Garden, and then Canelo Bivol in Vegas the week after. So a big run coming up.
On this main event, Van Heerden fired up, as is Conor Benn as usual. But some people say, is he really better than Vargas, Granados, Algieri? What do you say on that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, he's boxed a deeper level for longer. He's definitely better than Granados. He's definitely better than Vargas. He's definitely better than Formella. And he's better, you know, I think at welterweight, he's better than Chris Algieri. Chris Algieri is a world-class fighter. But the criticism there will be, oh, well, you know, he's a 140-pounder. When he got in the ring, he was probably barely over 147, Chris Algieri, whereas this guy's going to be 160 in the ring. You could see in the face-off that he's a big guy, he's experienced, he's tough, and he's got a lot to fight for. You could see that from, you know, these comments about his dad and stuff like that, and he ain't going to quit. So Conor Benn's going to be very dangerous early, but it'll be interesting if this fight goes deep. But Conor Benn's looking super spiteful at the moment.
You made comments saying that he's on for a mega showdown in the summer. What is realistically that fight, and is that fight, does that prepare him, do you think, for a world title shot?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's ready to be thrown in deep if he can get through Van Heerden. You know, you talk about the likes of Kell Brook, I think is the perfect fight, but, you know, if they don't want to make that fight, we have to look at the international names. Mikey Garcia, Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, Adrian Broner. They're all really, really tough fights that are huge fights for Conor Benn. But I think with Conor, we know where we want to go, but it's also a reflection after every fight. So after Algeria, it was test passed in a massive way, and now we have to move on and see what happens on Saturday.
Just a couple of quick ones. Joshua Usyk, reports that it's going to land on July 23rd in Saudi Arabia. Is that accurate?
That's one of the options that we have, and one of the dates that we have. We also have options elsewhere in the Middle East, also London, also Las Vegas. So we're working through the various contracts at the moment on the site, speaking to Usyk's team, who have a big say in where it goes as well. And I reckon about 2 weeks we should have an announcement. The fight's made, obviously. It's 100% happening, and we'll give you the news soon.
Mention Gennady Golovkin. That's now, I guess, he's on for the trilogy if Canelo beats Bivol. What did you gauge from the appetite for the trilogy after his performance?
I think people, like, when they know a fight's made, that their mindset changes a little bit. Like when we were negotiating that fight, it was like, oh yeah, and then all of a sudden, you know, Gennady Golovkin has a couple of bad rounds, and it's like, I'm not that excited about the trilogy. Trust me when I say, if Canelo gets through Bivol, that fight is the biggest, if not one of the biggest, in world boxing. You know, Gennady Golovkin, who, by the way, has been out of the ring for over 400 days, you know, came back and had a couple of bad rounds and then destroyed Murata, and will be much better, in my opinion, at 168, because he's been at 160 for, 8-9 years. It's a huge fight, but Canelo's got to beat Bivol. It's a really tough fight. So we'll see. Hopefully Mr. Triple G will be in Vegas, and hopefully we can have an announcement for that fight, but only if he beats Dimitri Bivol.
Fury-Whyte, we're expecting a press conference today. Just one thing I wanted to touch on. You know, with the undercard, it got quite a bit of criticism. If you had won the purse bid and you had that much money going into the main event, what would you say about the undercard?
Well, I've paid a lot more money to fighters than being paid next Saturday. And if you look at our undercards, they're always 10 times better than the undercard of next Saturday. But sometimes you buy a Rolls Royce and you can't afford the petrol. So I don't blame these people because they can't afford to put good fights on. What's disappointing is, as a promotional company, you should be using that platform to give your biggest stars that opportunity to showcase on a stage like that. So I understand they've run out of money, but at the same time, fans expect, and for a long time I've had to spend money that I never wanted to spend on undercards, but I knew I'd get stick if I didn't. And I like a good night of boxing. But I understand it. I don't want to start criticism and saying shit undercard, because you've only just got to look at social media for that. But I understand that they've wanted to save money.
How do you think it goes next week?
I think Dillian Whyte can win the fight. I think Tyson Fury is a big favourite. I think he's the best heavyweight in the world on paper. And, you know, I think with Dillian Whyte, he has the power, he has the ability to win the fight, but he's got to get it right.
Final one, when's Callum Smith likely to return?
Probably on the AJ card. We're just working on that at the moment. He's about to start camp. It's difficult at 175-pound division at the moment because everyone's queuing up. I mean, I saw Frank saying he didn't want to put Yard on the Wembley card because he don't want to get him out or get him beat before Beterbiev Smith. That fight's not even announced yet. That's not going to be till the summer. So what, we're going to keep him out the ring till November, December. Like, it's why we made Boatsy Richards. Both guys went, you know what, let's have a great fight for a load of money. So I think that's what you're going to see people do.
Eddie Hearn, thanks for talking to Pro Boxing Fans.